What's going on? You're watching Chat Sports, and we're covering the outbreak right now around the coronavirus. So we had some breaking news that came across just a few hours ago that Rudy Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus, and now the NBA has suspended the season until further notice. So Gobert confirmed coronavirus, and the Jazz and the Thunder players today, James, were escorted off the floor prior to the night's game. The good news was that Gobert was not in the arena. The bad news is Gobert, there was a viral video going around right now that he was sitting there touching microphones. We'll show you that. And what do you think about this?
Yeah, Mitch, this clip is on Monday. We'll get into those details here in just a second. NBA suspends play until further notice. Now, it does not mean the season is canceled.
Correct.
It's certainly in jeopardy. They may have to change things. They may have to say, we're scrapping the rest of the regular season at some point, go straight to the playoffs. Could it be a reduced playoffs? 7 games down to 3, 7 games down to 5, eliminate a round. I don't know what they're going to happen. I do know that they probably are going to want to crown a champion this season, and they're going to want to get back on the floor. But certainly things that can prevent that from happening. You've got the draft. You've got NBA free agency. They have to change that as well. The Summer Olympics, if that happens, NBA players play for that team, so they can't be worrying about playing in the NBA Finals in August if they're supposed to be out playing for the U.S. national team in the Olympics. The Thunder-Jazz game is the game and the event that has changed it all, that has changed the landscape of sports in this country. Starting tomorrow, play is suspended for the NBA, and it started a little bit early, Mitch. There's 2 games that were suspended tonight. The games that were happening, they concluded that, but there was 1 game out west tonight. The Sacramento Kings, whose ref Rudy Gobert's game on Monday night. When the NBA found that out, that hit the wires. They canceled that game, didn't play it, probably got that ref out of there, had him tested. The NHL says they are evaluating options, should have an update tomorrow for us. Here's the quote, Mitch, take it away from the NBA.
So the NBA announced that a player on the Utah Jazz preliminarily tested positive for the coronavirus. The test result was reported shortly prior to the tip-off of tonight's game between the Jazz and Thunder at Chesapeake Energy Arena. At that time, tonight's game was canceled. The affected player was not in the arena. That was the NBA statement. Here's another thing they're going on with the NBA suspending play. The NBA is suspending gameplay following the conclusion of tonight's schedule of games until further notice.
Mitch, the NHL takes it away. They said they are aware of the NBA's decision tonight to indefinitely suspend its season due to a player testing positive for the coronavirus. Thank you, NHL, for letting us know that you know the news that everyone knows. We really appreciate you letting us know that. The NHL is continuing to consult with medical experts and is evaluating the options. We expect to have a further update tomorrow.
So the NCAA president, Mark Emmert, he also kind of weighed in here. While I understand how disappointing this is for all of our fans of our sport, my decision is based on the current understanding of how the coronavirus is progressing in the United States. This is in regard to the NCAA tournament canceling or not allowing fans to be able to come to the games. He also weighed in on this. The decision is in the best interest of public health, including that of coaches, administrators, fans, and most importantly, our student athletes. Again, that is from NCAA President Mark Emmert on the limited access. So here's also some colleges making changes from a football standpoint.
Yeah, Mitch. Today, this afternoon, before President Trump went on air, before the NBA suspended their play, before the Rudy Gobert story, college football teams around the country started announcing this afternoon that they were canceling their spring games, many of them happening in the month of April. April 4th, April 11th, April 18th, April 25th. Some popular dates for the big-time Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12 spring football games where 20 to 60,000 people show up for free appearance of next year's teams. Most major universities, and I'm sure by tomorrow or Friday, they're all going to be doing it, Mitch, have gone to online exclusive for the rest of the semester, basically trying to tell people, don't come near, don't go into anywhere where a lot of people are going to be, because that's how this coronavirus is going to continue to be suspended. Spring break, some schools have extended it. Some probably are going to be telling their students, spring break's next week, the week after, don't go anywhere, stay in your dorm room. But I'll ask you this question as an audience. I'll ask you as my co-host here, Mitch, late into the evening on a Wednesday night, should March Madness be canceled? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to ask you guys to answer it, Y or N, based on whether you think it should, not really whether you think it will. You can verbally say out loud, like Mitch and I will, whether you think it will. But I'm going to ask you guys to say it. Why for yes and for no? Mitch, give me a quick take on that one.
Do I think it should be canceled? Yes, I do. And I'm looking right now in the comments on YouTube. I'm seeing predominant whys right now. I'd say about 80% of the comments are whys. And I think you got to look at the athletes. You got to see what the NBA has done, what the NHL will probably do tomorrow. I'm guessing the NFL draft is also in jeopardy. But again, this isn't just a sports matter. This is a living matter. So should March Madness be canceled? This is what we do here at Chat Sports. We ask the tough questions. That's why we want you to subscribe, stay up to date with everything around the coronavirus and sports in general.
Yeah, let me take you to this story, Mitch. You see at the bottom of your screen, Fred Hoiberg, Nebraska Cornhuskers head basketball coach. They are playing in Indianapolis tonight.
Yes, sir.
They lost by 25 points to the Indiana Hoosiers. Hoiberg was taken to the hospital at the game, was sick, left the game early, and was told to go checked out immediately. The story continues from Andy Katz, well-known college basketball personality, says Nebraska men's basketball team is not leaving the arena, Bankers Life in Indianapolis. They were brought their food out to the locker room. They're not letting people back to the area now. Again, I said I don't think that really matters at this point. Maybe it exposes more people, but they've been all over that arena. They played a game against another team. You know, the cat is out of the bag, if you will. I just walked back to the area where they were told me no one from Nebraska will be made available. He means for media, for post-game interviews. So that is Andy Katz. That is the word there on Fred Hoiberg. Head coach leaves the game early. Team is being quarantined right now in Indianapolis, spot of the Big Ten tournament that got underway tonight. Mitch, big impact on sports. How else is it affecting the sports landscape in this country?
I mean, it's also impacting the NHL. They're going to evaluate all their options tomorrow, but as we've stated before, we would be very, very surprised if the NHL doesn't do exactly what the NBA did tonight and suspend its season until further notice. The NCAA tournament, they said earlier today that they're not going to have fans. That's why that we are speculating now that they could just postpone the March Madness tournament as well. And then the Indian Wells has also been canceled. So again, this coronavirus isn't just impacting the NBA. It is impacting all sports, and it's going to start, I believe, really, really impacting the way that we live our lives. And that's why today Donald Trump, just a few hours ago, went on and said that he announced that travel from Europe, it's banned for 30 days starting Friday. The UK is exempt from this ban, and the World Health Organization has already declared the coronavirus as a pandemic. So, again, I've done some research on this disease. It is 10 times more powerful than the flu if you need something like that. And
President Trump also talked about the economic impact, and so certainly if you're in a business that deals in travel, if you're in a business that is, like, let's say you work at a mall or a big-time retail store, it's definitely going to impact your business. So certainly stay tuned to us here in Chat Sports. Subscribe to the channel, see what's going on in the news, see how it affects your job. Mitch, got a new information coming in here from Christopher Heedy on the Nebraska team. The basketball team just got the okay to leave the locker room and load onto the bus. Now, I would assume, okay, so 10:46 p.m., that's Central Time. That's 4 minutes ago, right?
Yep.
Central Time, where we are located here at Chat Sports. So if I am being a reasonable thinking person, I would reasonably think that this game ended, I actually don't know when it ended exactly, but at least a couple hours ago, right? They're not playing games this late in college basketball. At least a couple hours ago. If their coach left and they think he might have symptoms of coronavirus, every one of those players better have came back negative. If they let him leave the arena, they better have tested negative. I hope they did. Sure, if they quarantine, but is the bus driver quarantined? What are they going to do with the bus? Like, I just don't think it's a good situation until they administer it on site. Mitch,
speaking
how about
of
this
quarantines, Tom Hanks, he's been quarantined in Australia, so he announced on Twitter that him and his wife, Rita Wilson, also have the coronavirus. So they were vacationing in Australia, and now they're in a quarantine situation. So, again, this is all over the world. This isn't just a United States issue. Remember, wash your hands, do the correct things that you need to be able to do. Use tissues, use hand sanitizer. Just, think a little bit. So
quit being dirty, you people.
So I want you guys to get your votes in here. What's your panic level at right now with the coronavirus? So this is a scale of 0, or we're going to do 1 to 10. So 1 being you're not worried about it whatsoever. 10 being, you're basically canceling the NBA season
Yeah,
over
let's put it in like
postponing the NBA
meme
season.
form, Mitch. What would a number one on the scale and a Twitter GIF? What would that be? Give me your best Twitter GIF for one. We'll bring a little humor while you guys think about this. I think it's it's one of those the Obama. It's that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. What's the 10 on the scale? It's I'm trying to think of one of the panic ones. Right? Yeah, that's a good one. Just grab your head. It's
literally me because I'm sweating. You see this?
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's
not good.
Whoa. Pitts Renz over here. That's his name. 1 through 10. I'm going with a 6, Mitch. I'm going with a 6, right? I was at like a 3 or 2 earlier today.
6.9.
But today it escalated. I'll tell you what. It's kind of.
Sorry, I was at the gym before this.
Maybe it's a coincidence, but the date today is 3/11 when all this took place. 9/11, 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago.
James.
That was a majorly impactful day. 3/11. No, I'm not doing any of that, Brett. But 3/11. That's going to be a day. I tweeted this out a few hours ago. I put it on my Instagram, and this is before Trump went on. This is after the NCAA stuff was impacted. This is when the Warriors decided they weren't going to play games with fans. This is the most impactful moment, the impactful day on the day-to-day life. Not necessarily the amount of people impacted from death or from disease, but the day-to-day life and the economy of American public. This is the most impactful day outside of 9/11 in the past 40 years. So I'm putting it at a 6 right now, but it can get up to a 10 real fast if other things start happening in the next few days. Jonathan Jones keeping us up to date on Mark Cuban on ESPN a little bit ago brings up the hourly workers. A lot of people are going to be affected by these sort of things, Mitch. You think about here in Dallas, the Mavs, the Stars. They play just a short jaunt from here, downtown Dallas. And think about all the bars, the restaurants, the parking attendants, the Uber drivers that make their living. 41 home games for each team per year. That's a lot of lost business. I'm not sure if Cuban's going to help them, but the hourly workers at the arena is, I think, what this is alluding to. Then Tim McMahon from ESPN says Mark Cuban has said the NBA has told teams that they continue to practice. I think it's a very dumb move at this point.
Yep.
What are they going to get out of that? Let's think about upside downside. Oh man, LeBron might be able to pass better to Kyle Kuzma in a month. Or one person gets coronavirus who then decides to go on vacation and infect 40 other people. Right? That's a very bad decision. The players have been told they should not have visitors from out of town. I think there's just a lot of things tonight not really passing the smell test with some of the decisions that we're making. And it starts with this man here, Rudy Gobert.
With Rudy Gobert, and the issue here is the way that the virus spreads. All 30 NBA teams have been connected in just the last 5 days. So this graphic that we're going to show you, it might be a little bit hard to see, but basically what this shows is over the last 5 days, all 30 teams in some way or another have been in contact. So you start at the very, very top. The Javs have played the Toronto Raptors, who have played, which you then can see, Sacramento, Portland, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Denver, Cleveland, Chicago, Brooklyn, both LA teams, Warriors and Philly, who have played the Spurs, Dallas, Indiana, Brooklyn, and then OKC, and then Detroit, New York, and the list continues to go on. So here are the last 5 games by the Jazz. Raptors, Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, Cavs. We've seen this virus continue to spread, and if we don't act on it and we don't act a little bit more serious, it's going to continue to spread. So, again, make sure you take all the right precautions. And it's not just impacting the NBA, James. It's impacting the NHL. They were going to evaluate options. They'll come up with an answer tomorrow. We expect them to do the same.
What are they waiting for, right?
We expect them to do the same.
Suspend them at something, at least for the rest of the week until next week, right? Like, what are they doing? NCAA tournament, I expect that to change. We showed you the quote just a little bit ago from Mark Emmert, the NCAA president. That was a few hours ago. But after the Rudy Gobert incident, I think Rudy Gobert, this entire day, him in general, I put this on my social media earlier. I think this day is going to go down in history books. 10 years from now, my son's going to be reading about September, March 11th, 2020, as what this whole coronavirus, it'll be in history books for generations, if not decades and centuries from now. Indian Wells has been canceled. The second biggest tennis tournament in the country, I think I read.
Yep.
That is a big-time deal. Yeah, that's the U.S. Open. Michael Galkin, the NFL, is taking a hard look, Mitch. Basically, I'll paraphrase this tweet. No decisions have been made yet, right? The Raiders, the league office, they're all thinking about people's health. They're probably thinking about themselves, right? Looking out for number one. They don't want to host an event, whether it's the NFL owners meeting, the NFL draft, unless they feel they can host it without something catastrophic coming out, like, Joe Burrow caught coronavirus walking across stage. I mean, I'm not joking here, but that's the catastrophic thing that they're trying to avoid. So that's the quote here. They're going to look out for your safety. They're going to look out for the health of everyone involved. Then you got Eric Eldam, says multiple sources to me and Charles Robinson. 2 NFL teams, this is from earlier today, right? I expect these things to come fast and furious tonight. I say we wake up tomorrow, Mitch. I bet you would have a statement from every single team and league in pro sports about what they plan to do going forward from now.
And this one is another tweet rolling in here from my man Victor 4. He says the Raiders have been talking to NFL and Las Vegas. Nothing to report yet. This is on owners meeting and NFL draft. So again, the owners meetings are coming up. NFL draft is on April 23rd to the 25th. We were going to be live for the NFL draft, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're tuned in. We were the most watched NFL draft coverage yesterday. So if you're like me and James, you hate the coronavirus, you can't say the F word on YouTube, but we can type FC. So if FC gets rid of sex bots and if it can get rid of the coronavirus, I'm all for it. So every single person that is watching right now, I want you to type FC because we need them in the comments. The best medicine is a little bit of laughter. Here at Chat Sports, we're going to be taking you guys through the latest of all coronavirus. We're going to be taking through the latest about news, NBA, NFL. So type your FCs, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything, okay? So type your FCs, get them in the comments. Get them in the comments. Spam FC. How many can we get? How many can we get? We got over 3,000 people watching right now. If all 3,000 people type FC, let's do it. Let's get together as a community. Let's get together. Type FC.
Yeah, type FC if you hate the coronavirus. But if you like this show, if you appreciate us coming on, keeping you involved, keeping you up to date, and everything going around all the world of sports, around the world of politics, the entire United States, hit that subscribe button. Chat Sports is going to be your #1 resource for all NFL, NBA coverage all year long. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to take it back to the top. Keep recapping all the news, late-breaking news on the coronavirus here at Chat Sports.